just a little misunderstanding that I didn't know what was paining him. That is the first. I received a beating that kept me unconscious for almost 3-4 days.
At every little provocation, he bounces on me. And then his slogan is always, "This is your final bus stop. You have nowhere to go."
On a monthly or quarterly basis or yearly basis, for example, how many of these cases does NAPTIP treat?
For example, last year, the first quarter of last year, we had about 125 reported cases.
Just in the FCT?
Yes, in the FCT alone. But this year, just this first quarter, we're almost having like 200 cases being reported.
It's no longer news that every day in Nigeria, women are emotionally tortured and physically battered in marriages or relationships.
So the role of religion and traditional culture in the development, in the sociology of the society can be amended or should be amended to the extent that no gender will be treated as being inferior to the other.
Now more than ever, Nigerians have become more aware about the prevalence of domestic violence, especially against women in Nigeria. But experts believe that awareness raised has not done enough to discourage the scourge. The cherry news is that it has gone a long way towards ending the culture of silence, as more men and women are now willing to open up once they are subjected to domestic violence.
Patriarchy is everybody's enemy. Patriarchy is not just an enemy of women. It's the fact that, one gender is superior to the other, and a gender here now, the boy or the man, is not able to express himself. So that even when he's feeling abused, if his spouse is abusing him physically, emotionally, or otherwise, patriarchy, shame, the society will not allow him to come and speak up.
The reaction they get from the station, at times they say, "Oga, how can your wife be beating you up now?" The shame. So they hear this kind of a thing and majority don't come out.
Domestic violence is a widespread issue that reaches every corner of our society, affecting individuals across all ages, genders, and socio-economic backgrounds. Domestic violence occurs in various forms, from physical and emotional abuse to sexual and child abuse. Victims often suffer in silence, surrounded by cultural stigma and fear. Today, we bring light to a hidden crisis, giving a voice to the voiceless and exploring the many forms of abuse within families and close relationships. Physical abuse is often the most visible form of domestic violence, manifesting through injuries that are hard to hide. Unfortunately, in Nigeria, many see physical abuse as a private matter rather than a crime. According to the 2018 Demographic and Health Survey, nearly 16% of women in relationships reported experiencing physical violence. Victims remain silent, fearing retaliation and social ostracism, leading to lasting trauma and isolation.
Gaskiya ni wanda ya bakanta min rai a lokacin shine sanda na haifa yarinya na ta biyu, kuma a lokacin haihuwan da na yi ta CS ne. To a lokacin da gaskiya ɗinkuna na ba su warke ba, kuma haihuwan da gaskiya ya bani wahala sosai, ina ta rashin lafiya. Muka zo muka samu ɗan wani matsala, ya hau duka na har da zama akan cikina, ya shaƙe mu wuya, sannan kuma still yana dukan kaina da fuska na. A lokacin wallahi na yi tunanin mutuwa zan yi, saboda ban ma iya nishi gashi ya zauna kan ɗinkin da aka min da bai ma riga ya warke ba a lokacin.
I'm talking about domestic violence with a bit of, I won't say difficulty, because now what we are now looking at in all of these are gender-based violence, to which domestic violence is part of them. For domestic violence, for gender-based violence, I would like to address gender-based violence because it is easier. For gender-based violence, where we have the physical abuse of essence, because now women are beginning to ensure that when they have had up to their zenith with physical abuse from their husbands, they too now go physical. They now inflict bodily harm, and they go as far as killing if they can kill. All right, the kind of abuses or the kind of violence that I see all of the time is physical violence, where either a male is coming with a broken head or a female is coming with a punch in the eye, you know. And in extreme cases, I have had somebody come to me, God rest her soul now. She came to me and she complained of domestic violence, and I saw it was glaring. She was all bloodied and all. And I said to her, I'd advise you keep away from the home. I'd advise you just stay out until you can first heal yourself of these wounds, then heal yourself of the kind of hurt that you feel. And if you think that you don't want to continue in your marriage, then you start gradually pulling out. She came with her parents, and her father didn't take kindly to it. And he said, you would not advise my daughter on no such thing, blah, blah. And he went on and on. And I said to her, and then he, you know, one language that pushed me a little too far was when he said to me, it is more honorable to be a married woman than to be a single woman. And I looked at him very painfully and I said to him, I hope that it will not be more honorable to watch your daughter go down 6 foot in a casket. And I said, good afternoon. Because what I saw in this woman was not somebody who was physically violated by her husband. What I saw in this woman was a woman, she's now a victim, she's dead now. What I saw in her was her husband beating her and killing her because of the wounds and things I saw. And exactly 1 year after, I got a call, and I recognized the number, but my heart skipped a beat. And I'm like, and the woman was crying on the background, and I mentioned her name, and she said, and the person said she's dead. I said, when? She said, this morning, and I hung up. Then I went to the office, and I got called upon because I walk out of the Edo State Gender-Based Violence Center. My office also has a space inside there where I counsel and talk to people. And I'm like, I was just sitting back when the orderly came to me and said, so Tawaka, the center manager is calling you. And I walked in and I staggered because I saw the father. And I said to the father, where's your daughter? He said, we lost her this morning. And you know, he wanted me to now make a case. I said, no. this is now murder. It's gone off my hands. I'm sorry. I didn't even tell him accept my sympathy, because 1 year ago I had told him that this was what I think would happen. And the SAC manager called me and asked me later when they left that why did I. So I just went and I brought the file where I had now rolled across it. And that means that I had closed that chapter. And she said, can she read? And I said, read. And she read it. And she said, so Tawaka, you predicted this? I said, yes, because of what I had seen. The wound was too much, because what the man did was take her head and continuously hitting it on the wall. I said that was why I told him. I said this man is not beating this woman because he wants beating her. He's beating her that he wants to kill her. So why do you want her there?
While physical abuse leaves visible scars, emotional abuse leaves invisible wounds. This form of abuse includes belittlement, humiliation, threats, and manipulation. Cultural norms that uphold male dominance make it difficult for victims to identify emotional abuse, let alone seek help. Many endure years of such treatment, leading to anxiety, depression, and emotional isolation.
Well, I was in a marriage for 6 years because I'm from a family. For me, divorce or separation was not really an option, because from my family interaction and my lineage, I've never really seen any one of us, any woman, so to speak, that would leave her husband. So the ideal thing was to endure, tolerate, manage, and just kind of find a way around it. So when I got that wake-up call, the first instinct was, okay, probably I was the problem. I started blaming myself. Maybe I wasn't doing things right. Maybe I was probably overthinking. Maybe. So I started making excuses. So what I decided to do was to find a way to cope. So basically, I would find a way to, okay, if I know that I did this, for example, maybe he came back, I say welcome, and I didn't put sir. The next time I'll correct myself and say welcome, sir. If maybe he comes back and I say welcome, sir, and he got triggered by the fact that I didn't ask him whether he wants to eat or beat first, I began to. So I now became like a robot. Like I kind of like find a way to avoid any form of being hit by him. So I just try to think ahead. What will I really do that would make him upset? So basically, I started coping that way. But I wasn't happy, and it felt very, very lonely. The worst thing that can happen to you is to be married and be alone. Because outside, you go out, all of you do your uncle and smile, and people would feel, this one is, some people, that's why when young people keep thinking, see the way they act, as in, sometimes the facade of it, it's just what you get to see. But what one experiences inside, because no woman actually marries and says, I'll get divorced. No woman goes into a marriage and say, okay, I'll be here for 2 years, then I'll now step out, then I'll now start, you just go with a forever kind of mentality, like I die here kind of thing. So when I realized that this wasn't going to help me, and I had children along the way, I noticed my children started behaviorally, started affecting my kids, because whenever they just hear the car, he's at the gate and the car comes in, my children would just take cover. Initially, it was something like a joke. I just felt okay, they were just being hiding. There's a way children will hide and they are welcome, Daddy. But I now realize that sometimes they will take cover there. And when he comes in with anger. begins with quarrels, screaming, and I don't really know how to. He can just be nagging over one thing that you did this, something that maybe happened in passing 2 weeks ago. He'll just bring it up and shout and shout and shout. One of my younger son will just, sometimes in the process of hiding, he'll sleep off there because he can nag for 1 hour without end. He goes over it, he comes back. He goes over it, he comes back. He's going to the kitchen, he's taking what he wants, he comes back. Because if you move, you get hit. You don't know, you get beaten. You don't know what kind of movement or whatever will trigger a reaction. So I just realized I became mechanical. When I was in the house, I was always trying to find a way to avoid being beaten. And then when I'm outside, I'm always trying to put up a face that I'm happy, so that nobody picks it up that I'm sad, so that when I get back home and he notices that someone has noticed that you're not happy and they ask him any question, I get beaten. So I just became a shell of myself, really. I couldn't sleep. Sometimes I'm awake. It got so bad that this very sound of his footsteps, I could tell his pace. Even if there are 10 people walking around the house or walking around that vicinity and it's him and I'm lying down, my ear just picks up that he's coming. And you just wake up from sleep, your heart is just being, as if you're watching a horror movie. So basically that was how it affected me. And in terms of my education, I didn't pursue furthering my education after my first degree because one of the things was that I was a graduate, he wasn't. So I always felt, okay, when National Open University started, I tried to encourage him to at least get a degree so that we'll kind of be at par. So I realized I started shrinking myself from a lot of things. Though I'm a loner to a large extent as a person, but whenever an opportunity comes to socialize, I couldn't socialize with married women because whatever they were discussing, if he sees me talking with people, he say, what did you tell them? And you had to swear. You had to bring out your phone as evidence. You had to find a way to convince him that. So it just became like, I became like a puppet that was doing everything I can to satisfy whatever he needed. So basically that was it.
Sexual abuse within domestic settings often goes unreported due to societal and cultural taboos. Many women feel compelled to submit, believing marriage equates to consent. The 2015 Violence Against Persons Act recognizes marital rape, but enforcement remains weak, leaving victims vulnerable and isolated.
Pregnant and we're driving, so he likes to drive and then he will accelerate and then stop abruptly. So that kind of thing makes my heart like. So initially I felt it was because of the so later on and how I just calmed down, tried to like look around, like observe, and I realized he was doing it deliberately. And I looked at him, I said, this thing you are doing is making me tense, can you please stop? And I looked at me, that don't I know he's a pilot? I said, I know you're a pilot, but for the sake of my sanity and for my health, please stop this. He now kept doing it for like, that Kubwa road all the way till we got home. So when we got home, before we had to divert, a car was in front of him. He now started horning like impatiently. My mind was like, this same human being that was stalling and playing on the road all of a sudden, just few meters from the house. So the mistake I made was that I knew the person was my colleague in the office. I said, it's even my colleague who I just called the guy's name. We parked. The moment we parked, the way he drove and followed the guy that's like children playing with toys. I was like, what is this? He drove and like stepped on his brake. Now did made that sound that the car would go vroom, kind of. The guy now sped ahead. He sped and followed it. I said, you are carrying your family in this car. Can you just let go of whatever is happening? He now drove abruptly into our own compound and then parked. So I was not like, why are you driving? Do you know, the guy parked outside. We were inside the compound, but he was staring. Both of them were staring. You know that kind of thing that guys stare themselves down and all that. he just came and tore my dress. And this is a colleague that we share the same office with, in front of him. The guy now, he's a Muslim, he just looked away quickly, entered his car and drove off. So the next day, he came and met me. He said, Madam Susan, I'm sorry. But one thing he did for me, he never mentioned that incident. And you know, anything that spreads in the office, I never heard, except maybe I told someone, which I didn't. He never mentioned that incident in the office. Just one nice chiffon green blouse with this maternity chiffon top. Tore it. That's how the beads scattered.
Children, some of the most vulnerable victims, are deeply affected by domestic violence. From physical punishment to emotional neglect, the violence they experience is often seen as discipline. Growing up in such an environment normalizes abuse, leading to cycles of violence across generations. Social abuse is a form of control where the abuser isolates the victim from friends, family, and community. In Nigeria, this often involves restricting access to employment, social events, or even communication with others. Social abuse leaves victims dependent on their abusers and isolated, amplifying their feelings of hopelessness and desperation. The COVID-19 pandemic escalated domestic violence rates across Nigeria. With thousands of cases reported during lockdown, the sudden isolation and economic hardship intensified conditions for victims, as many found themselves trapped with their abusers. From March to June 2020, over 11,000 cases of rape and violence were reported, a stark reminder of the pervasive nature of domestic violence in times of crisis. Hearing directly from survivors shed light on the personal toll of domestic violence. Their stories highlight not only the hardships they faced, but also the resilience they embody. Many survivors share a journey of overcoming isolation, breaking free, and rebuilding their lives, despite overwhelming odds.
I I think it was more of like escaping who I was. But the moment I sat down, put my foot down, and I had to now say, okay, who is Susan? I defined who I was. What are your likes? What are your dislikes? Where do you see yourself in the next 2 years? In fact, I don't even go find the next 1 month, in the next 6 months, in the next 1 year. So when I started doing that, and then I realized I was always trying to please people, and I asked myself, and I wasn't happy doing it, but I just felt maybe if I did that, they would accept me. And then I began to feel, okay, maybe I felt like I was not a regular human, because of what had happened. I just felt, okay, if people knew that you are out of your marriage, or maybe that's why they don't like you. In fact, if subconsciously, if you frown at me, I just say, hey, I've done something. That kind of blaming myself. But I just got myself, no, now get out of your head. You are even one. So I began to love myself. I accepted, yes, you married, yes, at the right age, yes. Did it work out? No. Was it your fault for not seeing and noticing the red flag? Yes. But for leaving, You did it to protect yourself and your children, so you didn't do anything wrong. So could it have happened to anyone? Yes. What would have your response be? Support such a person. So why are you not supporting your own self? I began to talk to myself. Okay, why are you sad because of this? So what can you do? So that's how till now, that's what I do. If I just notice maybe I'm getting unhappy or I'm getting tense, I ask myself, why are you sad? So what are you going to do about it? So I began to consciously talk to myself, consciously do things. So I go out, I see a piece of jewelry, I like it, I buy it for myself. I go out, I feel like eating chicken. I go out, I get chicken. I don't want to cook. I go out, I go to an eatery, I take myself out. So things I would have expected others to do for me, I began to do it for myself. I learned something from my older child. He was crying one day. I visited them. He was doing his assignment. He couldn't do it. I think it was a math sum or something. He was now crying. He now went to, my mom now said I should take a look. He now went to the mirror. He now called his name. Don't cry. You can do it. You can do it. He was barely 5-6 years old then. You can do it. He now cleaned his eye, went back and started trying again. So my mom was laughing about it. I see this guy. But to me, it taught me a lesson. So most times I look at myself, even when I get tired, I get worn out, there are bills to pay, there are things I cannot meet up, there are deadlines. I tell myself, you can do it. You can do it. In fact, I look at myself most of the time, I tell myself, I love you. You are worthy, you are capable. I used to be way bigger than this. I came down again, now I'm coming up again, like in terms of weight. So then I used to be ashamed but recently I was just with my mom. I was like, I like the way I look. I don't know why, because I was always trying to lose weight because I just felt people love slim people. People like to hang out with slim people. Just want people who are slim, like a particular size. And at the point that, why are you even doing it? Do you like it? It's stressful. I like to eat. Eat what you want to eat. If your clothes get smaller, buy bigger ones. So who cares? It's you. It's your body. Move. And so when I just got comfortable, I got to that point. I think that's the point I am currently at the moment. Before now, if I talk about this, I'll cry, because I'll just highlight the pain, the shame and all that. I got to a point I was really literally ashamed. I hide from people. If I go out for functions, I go in and go out. I don't even talk to anyone. Nobody knows what I do. People don't know anything about me. But now I just come out, not that I'm like all over the place, but I'm comfortable with who I am. You ask me, I answer you as truthfully as you should know and all that. So I got to that point, I became self-aware of who I am. I am aware that yes, not everyone would understand having someone who has gone through a marriage and is divorced. Not everyone will understand domestic violence. Not everyone will understand being a single mother. Not everyone will understand my own journey, but it's okay. It's okay. I used to say, "Na marry way no work and no keep person," right? Just to console, because sometimes, and then it's now a source of strength for me, because I realized that in the marriage, my purpose was the marriage, was the man, pleasing him, satisfying him, hearing him praise me. Like I longed for him to tell me, "You did something good today, well done." That was just it. But now I can, like in the next 5 years, I want to be in this place. I want to go to school. I want to try this. I want to go skydiving one day. I want to be, I'm able to like set them. They are small goals, but gradually I'm achieving them. And then I could just decide that, okay, I want to work in this sector and just go for it, apply. So I just realized like I had put myself in a box, all in the name of being acceptable in a marriage. But marriage is beautiful, don't get me wrong, but when it's done right and you're in the proper setting. But when it comes to abuse, don't. So I just be happy, that's the thing, and I'm at peace. Honestly, you don't know how priceless peace is until when you lose it. The first night I slept and there was no sound of footsteps, there was no how am I to behave, what am I to say. I woke up like, literally I was like, is this even possible that I'm to sleep and wake up and I'm not afraid? Honestly, that night I can't forget the feeling. So basically that's just it.
What do you have to say to other women that are going through this?
Basically, I will tell you to hang in there and always put yourself first. It is better to have a marriage that fails than to die trying to save a name. It is better to be alive and look after your kids from the scratch and not know where your next meal will come from than to be in an enclosed environment trying to keep up appearances, but you are not happy. Honestly, I feel life is for us to live, and you only get this opportunity once. Live it well. Don't be so carried away by what people will say or what people will not say. I've heard of diverse cases of women I never met that stayed in abusive marriages and died there. And we are one of those that shouted, must they marry? Must you stay in the marriage? And their children are going on, but I can't remember their names. I can't remember when last I asked about this lady that died in an abusive, how her children are doing. And I think their spouses have moved on. Changed? I don't know. But so look after yourself and don't be afraid to seek help. Don't be afraid to seek help. You see, someone once told me that leave your comfort zone, because when you leave your comfort zone, the other side of your comfort zone is an enlarged comfort zone. So you might never think, some people are afraid maybe because of financial constraints, maybe because of cultural backgrounds, maybe because of the reputation, and I really understand, but I cannot come out of an abusive marriage for a woman who doesn't want to come out. So get to that point and ask yourself, what is more important? When you know what is more important, you'll be at a position to decide what is best for you. In all fairness, I could say that it is selfishness for a woman to die in an abusive marriage, all in the name to keep up appearances and protect her name. It is selfishness. It is selfishness. So do your best. Whatever it takes, do your best. Make up your mind for your own sake, for your own life, and for the sake of your children to come out of such. No one gets an award in an abusive home, honestly. There is no award. And it's better to die fulfilling purpose, because I am a strong believer that all of us were put on this world to solve a problem and to achieve something God had created us for. But sometimes we put marriage at the front of everything as ladies and now kill our own dreams in life. So serve purpose, raise your children, especially those that have children. You will account to God for their lives, for how they turn out. Why not make out the best by choosing right, to stay alive and to live for them? Thank you. Okay, my name is Susan Osomabebe, and this is my story.
To, a lokacin da ba wanda ya yarda da ni saboda shi mijin nawa munafiki ne a ciki. Shi mutum daban ne, in ya fita waje ya dinga nuna wa mutane shi mutumin kirki ne, saboda haka duk mutanen da nake gamawa ba ma wanda ke yarda da ni, har 'yan uwana ba su yarda cewa ga abin da ke faruwa da ni ba, saboda abin da yake nuna musu a waje daban, abin da yake nuna mun a ciki daban. Saboda haka gaskiya zan ce yarana ne kadai karfin giwon da suka sa na tsaya tsaye a kafana.
What advice would you give your younger self? What do you have to say to other women going through the same thing you went?
To, abin da zan ga wa waɗanda suke cikin irin wannan hali na wanda na taɓa shiga, ku buɗe baki ku yi magana, kar ku yadda namiji ya wulakanta ku, kowane kalan wulakanci ne, ko yaya kankanin shi yake kuke ganin cewa ai ba wani abu ne ba, daga kaɗan abu ke zama har ya zo ya zama babba. Saboda haka kar ku taɓa barin namiji ya wulakanta ku. Ranar farko da zai fara daga hannu ya da keki, ki buɗe baki ki magana, ki nema taimako a waje, sannan kuma ki tsaya wa kanki. Bayan wannan ina so in ba ma yara shawaran su nema abin yi, su nema sana'a, saboda zaman gida shi ke jawo faɗa da yawa. Kullum kana bani dole wani namiji zai ji haushi, duk da su ma mazan ba sa ganin kokarin da mu ma matan ke yi a gida. In kana da yara kuma ma shi ma zai fi zama maka karfin giwa, saboda ba wanda zai iya tasan maka da yaran ka yadda kai zaka tsaya kai. Na gode.
While Nigeria has laws like the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act, enforcement remains inconsistent. Community groups, NGOs, and advocates play a crucial role in providing legal aid, emotional support, and safe spaces for survivors. Their efforts bring hope to those who seek justice and a chance to start over. Domestic violence isn't just a personal issue, it's a societal one that demands collective action. By educating ourselves, supporting survivors, and enforcing protective laws, we can work together towards a safer Nigeria. Remember, breaking the silence starts with each one of us. Together, we can make a difference.